I now give the floor to the distinguished member of the President's Cabinet and permanent representative of the United States to the United Nations. Madam, you have the floor.
On behalf of the United States, let me thank you for this opportunity to stand firmly in support of the safety and dignity of women and girls, and to insist upon the elimination of all forms of violence against women everywhere. I come here to reaffirm a simple bedrock principle, that the rights of my daughter are just as real, just as sacred, just as self-evident as the rights of my son. We cannot live in truly free societies if women and girls are not free to reach their full potential. We cannot live in truly open societies if the doors of opportunity are not open equally to all women and all girls. I'm glad that this year's Commission on the Status of Women is giving particular focus to preventing and eliminating rape, abuse, and all forms of gender-based violence. All women and girls have a fundamental right to live free from violence and fear. Whenever one woman suffers physical or sexual abuse, our common humanity is assaulted along with her. Violence against women takes many forms, whether inflicted by a family member or a stranger, by a state-backed militia or by an abusive partner. When women are attacked, so is their full and equal participation in society, and that of all of us. Violence against women weakens our communities, stunts our economies, and erodes our common values. 20 years ago, the UN General Assembly adopted a landmark declaration on eliminating violence against women. Since then, we have taken major strides to prevent, reduce, and condemn the abuse of women and girls worldwide, and to do more to help those victims that we were not able to save from assault. In a single generation, the ground has shifted. We have debunked the vicious myth that women who have been sexually assaulted were somehow asking for it. Domestic violence is now outlawed in 125 countries. The use of rape as a weapon of war is widely condemned as a most despicable crime. But we still have far more work to do together. 1 in 3 women worldwide, 1 in 3 will still be beaten, coerced into sex, or otherwise abused in their lifetimes, most of them by an intimate partner. More than 600 million women and girls still live in countries that have not yet declared domestic violence a crime. Women with disabilities are 2 to 3 times more likely to be physically or sexually abused. Lesbian, bisexual, and transgender women still face higher risks of violence and abuse. Thousands of women and girls caught in conflict zones and post-conflict zones are subjected to rape and horrific abuse daily. And some 60 million girls are assaulted each year while simply trying to get to school. Ending this global scourge will require comprehensive support services for survivors, justice for perpetrators, redoubled efforts to prevent assault, and the common recognition that women and girls have fundamental and inalienable rights, including making their own reproductive health choices. Community members, from police officers to religious leaders to health officials, must also fulfill their respective responsibilities to defend women's rights. My own country has also made important progress. In the United States, the rate of intimate partner violence has declined by 2/3 over the past 2 decades. All 50 states in our union now have laws that treat date rape or spousal rape as just as much of a crime as rape by a stranger. We're training law enforcement officers and judges to care better for victims. We're helping educators reduce gender violence and improving access to quality women's health care. And we're enlisting men and boys in this critical work, because halting violence against women is everyone's responsibility. But we have much more to do. That's why tomorrow President Obama will sign the Violence Against Women Act, renewed by the U.S. Congress last week. This historic law transforms the way the United States approaches both survivors and perpetrators of abuse. It strengthens tools to hold offenders accountable launches new programs to help rape and assault victims, and will now finally offer increased protections for Native American women and the LGBT community. At the same time, the United States is taking action internationally. Last year, President Obama launched the first ever U.S. strategy to prevent and respond to gender-based violence globally. The United States is leading the UN system in helping end violence against women and girls. Thank you, Madam President.
I thank the distinguished member of the President's Cabinet and permanent representative of the United States to the United Nations for her statement.